starting the video off. We've been trying to do this for the last 2 days, but it's not going to plan so far. It's been nothing but raining for the whole last 2 days. My whole plan was to go to an island on the west coast, maybe a bit of fishing. You could camp. We're going to do a walk called the West Island Way, do a decent walk, but then as we got ready for going on the ferry, it was cancelled. The ferry was cancelled. So now I've headed up north and we're going to camp. Got a couple steaks in the bag, some smoked salmon. Still raining, but I've got the waterproofs. Just come across a wee pond on our way. A couple of wee ducks in it. Can you see? Oh, just spooked them away, but they're common ducks you see around, well, most of Britain, to be honest. They're called mallard ducks. The males have a really nice kind of dark green head that shines nicely in the sun, and the females are just kind of light brown. You see them all the time. Anywhere usually there's water, you'll probably get a couple mallard ducks just cutting about, and that's how you can identify them. These little white flowers are called snowdrops. They come out in the spring, and these are a sign that there's some better weather on the way. Winter has just finished. These have sprung, and it's finally going to start getting a bit warmer. Came across this little guy in the moor. He was just chilling in a burn. This little frog will be moving just to start the mating season. It's still quite cold for them without much sun. As you can see, he's not got much energy, but that's just a wee frog. It's starting to move for the mating season. As we start to climb, the weather really couldn't make up its mind. This was us in some heavy snow and wind at the same time. We had already had sleet and rain, so we started to look for a bit of cover as this was getting quite painful. Luckily we'd been kind of following a dry stone dike all the way up, and it made for the perfect windbreak for us to sit and have a wee dram. And a bit of Drambuie warms you up a bit. Can let it clear for a minute. This is us just about at the top. As you can see, the weather had subsided substantially by the time we got up there. It got a lot nicer. Sun, a bit of blue sky as well. No more rain. You can see the mountains in the back, which if there was clouds you wouldn't have been able to see any of that. It was actually beautiful by the time we got to this top, but it wasn't any less windy at all. It was just such a windy day. But of course, the sun didn't stay for long. Then came the snow. Didn't feel much of us coming down the hill, but this is just at the bottom. Found a camping spot and getting the tent set up. There we go. Tent's all set up. That's us ready for the kip tonight. We're now just collecting some firewood. We're going to have a big cook up tonight. We're eating good tonight. Got the smoked salmon, venison steaks as well. Venison steaks will get on the fire, although we'll need to get a stone for it actually. I forgot about that. But there we are. Camp all set up. We've got the fire ready. Let's hope this does the job. And then we can get cooking with the venison. Right, I don't know how well you can see me. We've lost the light now, but I told you we were eating well tonight. I've got all the smoked salmon all the smoked salmon, all about that. It's good stuff as well. And that's our starter for the night. Obviously got to give the feed the cameraman. There we go. Don't know how well you can see me again, but as always got my dram. This time it's a Dalhuane 16 and Drambuie, so it's a wee cocktail I've got here. A rusty nail, as some would call it. Took a wee while for the fire to get going, but once it was going, it was roaring. And I needed to give it a wee while then to calm down a bit so I could stick the steaks on. So what better time just to sit and chill and drink our whiskey. By this point I was absolutely choking on some scran. My mouth was watering, so I had to get these steaks on the fire. I had to store in there for a good while. You'll hear them sizzle in the background as they put on it. That means I only need a few minutes on each side of the steak just to cook them perfectly. I must admit, I forgot tongs again. I low remembered my oil, I forgot the tongs, so it's just out of my hands to pick these steaks off the fire. It wasn't too bad, but it would be better with tongs. Here's the last bit of film I got before I got to my kip. Here's me just about to tuck into some of these steaks. They were absolutely delicious, and I was not prepared for how we woke up in the morning. Just woke up after a cold night. Look at that. This sun coming through the snowy trees behind me. It seems like out here it was a very cold night. It's just covered in snow out here. Some morning as well. It's supposed to be a really nice day today, but of course it is the day we're going home. We've cleared up the fire. You wouldn't be able to tell we were even there. And that kind of ends the video for us. We had a nice night cooking the steaks, but it kind of got too dark to even see, so well, as always, hope you've enjoyed it. Stick around for the next one.